Now, for those people out there that are looking to build a portfolio, or if you're a wholesaler and you're looking to find properties for your landlord buyers, or if you actually are doing creative deal structure like seller financing or sub two, you really have to understand cash flow. And the way you determine cash flow is by comparing the mortgage payment of a house to what a house can potentially rent out for. And that margin, that difference is the cash flow. So you have to have access to accurate rental comparables to be able to understand if a property makes sense from a long term rental or any sort of like a cash flow perspective. Now, I'm looking at the comparative market analysis inside of Privy for this house on Lowell Boulevard, and it looks like it needs some work. And so the first thing people might think is, oh, this needs to be a fix and flip, or this needs to be a wholesale deal. Well, it might make sense as a rental, right? You have to come in and fix it up a little bit. Maybe that's what people call a burr, but you want to make sure that this thing will actually rent out. So you come down here to the comparable section, and by default, because I was searching for deals, we have the investment comps here, which shows this thing has some margins. And then we got the sold comps, the active comparables, and then we have the rental comps. And so the rental comps are purple. Now, the next thing I would do is click into one of these so I can see what properties are renting for here. Now, one of the most valuable things about our rental comparables is that this data comes directly from our data partner, which sources it from property management companies. So there's no more accurate data that you get on the internet than information that comes from property management companies. And so if you were using another site like, say, Zillow, where they have this thing called the rentals estimate, you don't really know. It's kind of a black box. But with this, you can say, oh, well, a house that's a 3 bedroom, 1 bath that is in this condition, right? So you can compare conditions, then that is really, really valuable. So you can make sure that you're not basing it off of a really high end home that has high end fixtures and they spent a lot of money staging. This is kind of like a rental grade property, lower end. And that's totally okay, but that's what you want to understand. So that house we were just looking at, maybe I don't have to go in and spend a bunch of money. I can spend minimal money and know that if I can get it up to this level here, that I can get 2250 per month. So now I'm starting to pull these rental comparables and understand cash flow. So that automatically does that for you. Really, really cool to be able to pull comparables accurately. And you can do this in every market in the US. Now, another really cool feature here is that now because we have those rental comps, we can analyze and find properties from a rental perspective using our deal finding algorithm. So I'm going to switch into the filter here, and I'm going to switch over from fix and flip to long-term rentals. And then we have 4 ways to measure cash flow. We've got cap rates, annualized return, cash on cash return, and gross yield. This little information icon, when I mouse over, it gives a more detailed explanation, and you choose what makes sense for your business. But let's say I wanted to find a property that was at a 9% cap rate or capitalization rate. And let's say I also knew that I didn't want to pay more than a certain price. Maybe I got pre-qualified for a loan, or I just know where I want to be price wise. So let's say we don't want to go more than 460. And also too, rental properties rent better when they have more bedrooms. So let's say I wanted at least a 3 bedroom house and at least 1 bathroom. So you can basically put your buying criteria right into the filter here, and then you click run search. And now Privy's going in and it's running comps on all the properties in this area, and it's looking for houses that meet our deal criteria. So let's click into this one right here that popped up. This is 222 South Julian Street, and this is the range. So it's got range of 1.7, which is 1700 a month, all the way up to 5500 for a 3 bedroom bath, a 3 bedroom home. Now, that's one right here seems like a bit of an outlier, but we can go in and we can, look at the comparables down here, look at the rental comps, and it looks like we do have that one that is, a little bit higher here, but let's go ahead and hide that one because it is a bit of an outlier. So we'll hide that comp, and now it's looking like we've got comparables from 1.5 or 1500 a month up to 2300, and two of them are 2300. So that's good. Now we can come in and we can edit the assumptions. So right here where it says edit, I click that little button. It pops those up. And the monthly rent here, let's adjust that down. And as you can see here, as I'm lowering the monthly rent because we excluded that outlier, see how all these numbers are changing on the fly? So we've got a rental calculator that's built in. Most rental calculators that you're going to find out there are, spreadsheets or ones that are not already pre-populated with data. You have to spend many minutes, a lot of time filling those data points so that you can come get an output. We pull out all that data in automatically for every house you're pulling comps on. It's going to be a huge time saver and you're going to be way more accurate. And so again, let's lower this to something that makes more sense. And then let's change um, the numbers. So let's say we want to put down, we want to get a bit of a discount on the house. And maybe we're going to put 30% down instead of the standard 20%. Let's go here and let's do 2,300. And then we have some other things here like property taxes, insurance. These are all fully adjustable. Let's say I want to self-manage. Let's take the 10% out and put 0 here. It's adjusting all of this on the fly. And then we get all these estimated annualized returns. If that's what we're going to use, I can save all of these adjustments right into this comparative market analysis so that if I save this into a folder in Privy, I can come back to it and all the numbers will have been saved in here. And so you can have different versions of this. So we just found a potential rental property. We didn't have to go and analyze dozens or hundreds of properties to find this. We used the rental data that Privy has right here, and then we used the cap rate calculator to find an opportunity here. And this could make sense for a deal for ourselves. Or if I'm a real estate agent, I can send this to one of my clients. If I'm a wholesaler, I can send it to one of my buyers. Really, really powerful way to find opportunities that will help you build a portfolio of cash flowing properties.